All right, it is 6 a.m. And it is time to head off to Rennsport reunion. So hopefully you guys will come on and join the ride with me. And I've rented myself a Boxster for the week. And I'm going along with Mike in his fantastic Grey Ghost. More of that later when it gets light, but at the moment it is still very early. And we're off on the road trip. Hopefully there's some fun roads today, but at the moment I am on the world famous 405 and stuck in, it's still early but still sort of peak traffic, so yeah, that's fun. Alright, there were actually some really fun roads today. I think we've done most of the fun stuff. We're in, I think this must be a Atascadero, and it's a pretty cool looking place. We'll have a little bite to eat and cruise on the rest of the way through to Monterey. And this is it. I am here at Rennsport reunion. Hopefully the wind is not too bad, but I'm in the corral parking, and there is a whole lot of air-cooled Porsches here in this particular section. Some very cool stuff. Let's go around and have a little bit of a look. Just walking through this car park and it's never-ending goodness, and I have to say that aubergine has got to be one of the best factory 911 colours there is. I just love it. It looks fantastic. And this is Bisimoto's electric 935, and I just love where the door handles are on these. It's quite a challenge to paint in there, I imagine. This CSF car was very neat with very nice billet inlet plenum and just lots of custom touches. If you want to throw money at one of these 911s, you really can. And this is definitely one of those very custom, very, very expensive builds with super expensive handbags just cut up for the interior. So many of you might know this car. It's the Huna Pegasus, built for Ken Block to do Pikes Peak, but he unfortunately was killed before he ever got to use it. And there are heaps of really cool aero parts on this car. Just seeing it up close, it looks very, very purposeful, with some very cool sort of billet uprights for the rear wing, and even these 3D printed exhaust outlets. Very, very cool. And then into the classic race car pavilion, and it was absolutely jaw-dropping, the level of these cars, because these are obviously all the real deal. They're not the replicas, and this, of course, is basically the car that is Harry's inspiration, the 2.8 RSR. Very, very cool car. And we were having a chat about this, that it looks really good in this single-seater race car to have the fuel tank that's just completely moulded around the outside of the seat. So you're basically sitting completely in the fuel tank with nothing really around you. And this is by far the best use of a whale tail I have ever seen. I've always been a big fan of the 935. I just think they are such an amazing race car. Maybe I could build one day. And of course, there's not just one of them there, there's heaps of them. And this 1973 RSR was absolutely amazing. It actually finished 4th overall in Le Mans in 1973 against full prototype race cars, and it still finished 4th overall. That is absolutely amazing. Weren't too many GT1s around. This is the only one I saw, but I'm sure there were others. But there were lots of 956s and 962s, which I just absolutely love. And you can see how race car they are. The morning I've had walking around, it is just so overwhelming here. The cars, there's just everything. Actually, something Mike had said earlier that really rings true is it's not the cars that you see, it's the cars that you ignore and walk past that you would normally just jump out of your skin to see. It is just such an epic event. I just don't know how well this video is going to demonstrate that. The noise of the cars in the background and just everything is just so amazing. Yeah. If you're into Porsches at some stage, you need to make your way to Rennsport. I think it's really a bucket list event. Yeah. The engine with a flat fan in this 934.5 looks very, very purposeful. I imagine it's a handful when it hits boost. And of course it's sitting next to a 959, which was just an absolute marvel at its time with all the innovations it had. So this is technically not a Porsche, it's actually a 962 CR, which was built by the racer Vern Schuppen, who won the 24 Hours of Le Mans in 1983, and these were built in the early 90s. There were only 6 of them made, but is actually basically a road legal 962 road car. Love to go and get drive through in that. And it wouldn't be a Porsche event without a Carrera GT, or maybe 4 of them in a row with a 959 or 2 chucked in. I am a huge fan of a filthy 911, just showing that it gets used the way they're built to be used. Alright, well this is half of what the Rennsport reunion is about, is the after parties. And I'm at the Checked It Out event here in Monterey. Checked It Out that usually does an event in Chicago, and air-cooled gloriousness. A lot of these guys have come from all over the country to come to this event, and there's some very cool stuff here. So I'll take you around now and just show you some of the builds. So this is one of Achtung-Craft's very neat valved exhausts. I had a look at some of their stuff and was very impressed. Brock from 996 Road Trip with his dog and rooftop tent made themselves quite at home at the event. And this is Chris's build. I've been following his thread on Pelican Parts. It's the low budget dream car build. He's been building it for quite a few years, and it's a very good read, so if you want to jump on Pelican Parts, you should check it out. All right, it is, I was going to say the start of day 2, but I had a late night last night, and it's almost 1 o'clock, but I'm at the track and I'm actually on the top of the hill. The corkscrew is right behind me over here somewhere. Yeah, and it's overcast. It was raining this morning. The weather is not as great, but there's plenty going on. And here's the new ST. The Jägermeister livery on the 956 has got to be one of the best, but I think it probably just gets outdone by the one sitting just the other side of it, the Rothmans livery. That has got to be one of the most iconic 956s around. So I believe this was actually owned by Jerry Seinfeld, and I really, really love it. And looking at that may give you a bit of a hint to my next project. So the Mission X was a very cool concept car. Going over it, there were lots of really cool details, and it would be interesting if they built something pretty close to this. We'll just have to watch this space and see what they come out with. So I'm not over the moon about an electric future, but seeing things like this GT4E performance really gives me hope, because this thing was an animal. We got to see it on track a bit, and getting around it had lots of really cool features, and yeah, it's definitely not a silent, boring toaster. It seems to have a bit of something. That's crazy.
They can do all laps all day in these.
Perfect. Thank you, sir.
Traveling in style.
All right, it's the last day. It's Sunday at Rennsport 7, and my voice is gone. I have filmed far too little. There is just so much to see. It is absolutely overwhelming. There is just so much cool stuff here. Hopefully you guys enjoy it. I'll give you a bit more of a glimpse today before I call it Rennsport 7 done. I had to go through and have a much better look at some of the 911 race cars. So it's not just me who has a problem with rubbing tyres. This one seems to be a tad more extreme than Harry. Did I mention before how much I love aubergine on early 911s? Geez, that looks good. And I really have a soft spot for ratty old 356s. A 356 Outlaw has definitely got to be in my future. I just think they're so cool. And I managed to get a bunch of ideas for the Rockster as well. Watch this space. The Rockster has not disappeared from the channel, and there is more to come. I need to paint it. I need some aero. There's a bunch of things that need to go onto the Rockster. And here's another one with the Cayman roof. Looks good with a big wing. I think that is one of the many things that the Rockster is missing. I thought this was really cool, a 944 shooting brake. And hold your horses, guys. It's the tractor race. They do it every time, and it's always a crack up seeing them cutting the corners and just having a bunch of fun on the tractors. It's a very, very slow lap. And this car I just stumbled across, but it has a bunch of really, really cool custom carbon fiber touches everywhere. This sort of flat underfloor diffuser, sort of a inner part of a ducktail, and just a bunch of very, very cool mods.
What the bike back comes in 1935 and that will be in the bike as well.
And that's Rennsport done for me. I'm on the road now, heading out in a rural setting here. We're trying to shoot back to Santa Barbara tonight, so we've got a short run in the morning back in LA. What an epic event. If you get the chance, I know it's every 4 years, so you'll have to wait for the next one, but if you get the chance, it is absolutely worthwhile. It's just so overwhelming. Seeing all of these cars just in action, in anger, on the track is just an epic thing to experience. So many people, I think there was over 100,000 people yesterday. Like it was just absolutely gigantic. Laguna Seca looks like a fantastic track, which I'll have to drive someday. But for today, that is it. So hopefully you enjoyed something a little bit different, and you'll join me on the next one. So all right, guys, see you next time. That's crazy.
They give you all laps all day in these, and